If there is one creature that's not afraid of other animals, it's the crocodile. But that doesn't mean it is never challenged or attacked. If you want to see what happens when things don't always go as planned for the big reptiles, it's time because we're getting started. Number 15, Jaguar versus Caiman. A hungry jaguar surveys its options for a meal until it has no choice but to dive into the water and throttle a caiman. The battle is fierce, but the outcome is like all outcomes between jaguars and caimans. The cats reign supreme and the crocodilians pay a hefty price. On safari, a good sighting usually lasts only a few seconds, but occasionally a good sighting lasts for several minutes. That was the sighting in question. The female jaguar caught and killed a massive caiman, which is impressive in and of itself, but she then attempted to drag it up the bank and hide it in the shrubs. The caiman's size was a little too much for her to handle, so she swam back across the river with it. She dragged it down the shore before abandoning it and returning to her cubs. She took the first one, then the second, before swimming back with both pups to dine on the poor caiman. What an amazing sighting. Wildlife enthusiasts followed this large female jaguar in the Brazilian Pantanal as she hunted along the river's edge. She saw a caiman in between the plants in the river and pounced on it. She must have been underwater for about 10 seconds fighting to make the kill. This was without a doubt the best moment onlookers had on the river during their stay as they witnessed the amazing attack. When jaguars and caimans come together, there is usually only one winner, but that doesn't mean the caiman will give up easily. This battle took place in the Pantanal in Brazil, and this caiman was a fighter. The jaguar, exhausted after the struggle underwater, came up with a better plan. Just pin the caiman underwater until it drowns, which it did. Number 14, Otter versus Crocodile. This otter circles this caiman numerous times, thinking and preparing an assault, but the reptile is alert and prepared. It's interesting to note that the otter is the predator and not the other way around. Otters are much smaller than caimans, but they are aggressive, fearless, and will defend themselves to the death if they must. Check out how big this saltwater crocodile is, and how dare this otter approach so close to it. The best thing is when the otter gets close enough, the crocodile doesn't even try attacking it. Otters can intimidate and challenge larger animals such as crocodilians and jaguars. The massive crocodiles in this footage don't seem to bother these otters in the least. No matter how large their opponent is, they will charge and attack, especially when they are a large group. When attacked by larger predators like crocodiles, otters are known to band together and collaborate, as you can see in the following clips. Otters can be some of the nastiest creatures on the planet. They appear cute, but they are no strangers to heinous acts such as capturing newborn otters and keeping them for ransom in exchange for food. But hey, they must eat, don't they? Otters are carnivores that require a quarter of their body weight in food every day. Oddly enough, otters are often the apex predators or close to the top. These otters are looking for a caiman, and they dive underwater to get a better look before disappearing in the foliage. It appears they have made a kill, but it's impossible to see exactly what has happened. Number 13, Monkey versus Crocodile. As soon as the baby is snatched, the mother comes to the rescue and snatches it back from the crocodile herself. Damage has already been done, and the baby baboon is dead. Despite mom's efforts, it was not enough to save her offspring from this nasty attack. A troop of baboons can take on a huge cat if they organize themselves, but I'm not sure how well they'd fare against a crocodile in the water. This video demonstrates how a group of baboons can destroy a smaller crocodile. Not all the baboons are brave enough to leap over the crocodile at once, but a few are braver than others, and once they do, the rest join in on the frenzy. The video below depicts a baboon fighting for its life in the jaws of a crocodile. I have to say, the baboon's strength is incredible, especially given the crocodile's tremendous jaw pressure. The poor baboon manages to flee, but it appears to be in terrible pain, and one of its arms is in pretty bad shape. The problem now is the baboon will not receive medical attention, and that could mean a slow and painful death for the primate. Number 12, alligator versus alligator. Two alligators are seen fighting in Clearwater, Florida. This intense fight was captured during a man's lunch break outside his office, so he decided to take out his phone and record the incident. In a huge enclosure, a nasty alligator grabs a smaller alligator and pulls a few dozen death rolls on land, trying to rip the smaller reptile to pieces. Alligators and crocodiles do not care if the animals they attack are of the same species. If they can eat them, they will. These two gladiators decide to engage, but the battle doesn't amount to much. When the alligators finally realize they're wasting their time, they return into the water and enjoy a nice swim. Number 11, honey badger versus crocodile. The honey badger in this video is bringing the little crocodile it killed back to its home base to feast on it. This crocodile was the perfect size for the honey badger to handle. This honey badger seems to have truly outdone not only itself, but other members of his species as well, even if the crocodile was small. For a small animal such as the honey badger to kill it is quite extraordinary. Believe it or not, a crocodile is the prey that the honey badger is seeking in this video. Despite the crocodile's small size, it is nonetheless impressive that the badger can defeat such a strong foe. A few bite scars are left on the crocodile after the honey badger eventually loses interest and wanders off, leaving the crocodile to ponder what was the crazy animal that just attacked it. There aren't many animals that can challenge a crocodile this way, besides lions, leopards, and jaguars, and a few large herbivores such as elephants and rhinos. I can't think of many others. A man came upon this sighting near Lataba Camp in Kruger National Park where a crocodile was eating a honey badger in a small dam, but the man wasn't sure if the crocodile killed the badger or if it was already dead when it spotted the animal. Both are possibilities, but we'll never know because the crocodile decided to keep it a secret. Number 10, lion versus crocodile. Lions and crocodiles are apex predators at the top of the food chain, so when they meet, anything can happen. It all depends on where they meet and how many lions and crocodiles are involved. But it's safe to say that the crocodile in our thumbnail was attacked and killed by a pride of lions. After a lioness spots a small crocodile along a riverbank, she runs straight toward the reptile and attacks it. It's an easy kill for the feline because the crocodile is tiny, and when the rest of the pride arrives, it turns into a quick dessert for them. These felines tell this reptile to go back where it came from. It's the crocodile's job to tell the lion to keep his mouth shut because he's the boss in the water. For a moment, the two get into a heated argument, exchanging insults and threats, but they soon settle down and stop arguing. It looks like this crocodile doesn't give a hoot about the lions eating this buffalo carcass because it just stuffs its snout inside the carcass right in front of the felines. The big cats don't appreciate it, but besides a few friendly slaps on the crocodile, they don't do much to discourage the reptile from feasting on the carcass. Number 9, crocodile and alligator versus warthog. This warthog is having a nice drink of water when a crocodile bursts out of the water but misses. The warthog displays amazing footwork that allows it to avoid being crushed by the huge reptile. These warthogs are much faster than they look, even in a straight line. Even though they are hefty, they are quite fast. During this time of year, it's especially difficult because the rains are late. With no water sources, herbivores must face starvation. Although water can keep these creatures cool and hydrated, it cannot protect them from the predators that live there. Whether or not a crocodile is hungry, it is impossible to trust it. The scenes have the potential to become dramatic at any moment. Using a cunning strategy, the crocodile approaches its prey slowly and stealthily until it strikes. The warthog's quick thinking and lady luck save him from certain death as he swiftly moves out of the way to avoid certain death. While touring the bayou in New Orleans, this big guy took advantage of some daring feral pigs. It was hard to watch for the people present, and one woman on board almost threw up, but it is reality in the bayou. The alligator latches onto one of the wild pigs and chopped it up in front of all present as the other pigs tried to help, but it didn't change much. Number 8, heron eats baby crocodile. A heron can be seen with a tiny crocodile baby in its mouth. This reptile is tiny, so eating it for the heron is as easy as pie. Herons will go looking for small hatchlings because they're vulnerable, easy to eat, and tasty. A larger baby crocodile is snatched and swallowed by a heron in this video. The bird holds the reptile in its mouth for a few seconds before finally gulping it down. A baby Florida alligator gets grabbed by a blue heron. Mother Nature is unforgiving, and it does break my heart to see this, but that's how nature rolls. This baby alligator must have been too far away from its mom, making it easy for the blue heron to snatch the youngster. Number 7, anaconda versus crocodile. Two Amazon reptiles trying to devour each other find themselves in a deadlock and are struggling for survival. Which one will win? Many locals got a close look at this amazing battle. Luckily, a man had an old digital camera with him and was able to film this unique event. In my opinion, the snake was crushing the caiman, and I don't think the reptile was getting out of there alive, but I could be wrong. The falling water level brings the anaconda back to the streams it prefers. It has the choice to hunt the hordes of fish as they return, or the animals coming to the banks to drink. A good meal can feed this supersized anaconda for days, or perhaps even months if the prey is sizable. The hidden air sacs by its lungs let it stay below the surface for 10 minutes at a time, giving it enough time to sneak up on its prey. It senses vibrations ahead on the stream bed. It hasn't eaten for weeks and will tackle a caiman if it gets the chance, even if it's a bigger risk. The giant snake just needs to get close enough for an ambush, but the caiman realizes the anaconda is close and decides not to stick around to find out what will happen. The mega snake continues his search for food downstream. With so many fish back in the rivers, it's good times for those animals that depend on them for food like otters and caimans, and at this point, any animal that relaxes its guard is toast. The snake eventually finds a victim, a smaller caiman that pays with its life after being choked to death, to say the least. I guess the term survival of the fittest means something in this harsh jungle. Well, this is an awkward standoff. What happens when a caiman catches an anaconda, which then catches the caiman? What happened here was that the anaconda was quick enough to wrap itself around the caiman before the caiman started shaking it and trying to fend it off. But the snake was not strong enough to pull a reverse on the caiman, so there they sat. Number 6, cat versus alligator. This putty cat stands his ground against a few hungry alligators that come out of the water. He can even be seen standing right next to one of the reptiles without a worry in the world. Are these guys friends or what? The cat slaps out the alligators in some sequences as if they were rats. This domestic cat finds a crocodile in what looks like a sewer, and the cat doesn't back down. He stares at the reptile for a few seconds, after which he walks away. The crocodile never tried to jump out of the water to snatch the cat. I guess it wasn't worth the trouble for such a small prey. When an alligator comes out of the water, it is greeted by an aggressive cat, not a lion, but it seems like the feline tells the alligator a scary story he doesn't want to hear, so he runs back into the water, traumatized. Number 5, wild dog versus crocodile. This crocodile is quite big, and yet these dogs are taunting it. Yes, the pack is high in numbers, but not one dog has the courage to jump on the crocodile. The dogs know what will happen if they get too close. The crocodile has had enough of this nonsense and decides to head back into the water. This pack of wild dogs decides it's time to harass a couple of harmless crocodiles. The crocodiles are unfazed and simply lie there, practically motionless. The majority of the dogs play in the water while a few stay close to the reptiles, but everyone knows nothing will happen. When wild dogs work together, they are not afraid of anything, including a nasty crocodile. Except when it comes time to kill a crocodile, it is a whole different story. The crocodile is extremely dangerous, and the dogs are aware of this. As a result, they must be cautious, which is why they end up looking at this crocodile come out of the water to snatch their lunch right under their noses. How cool was that? Number 4, crocodile versus alligator. Crocodiles and alligators compete fiercely and violently for territories and the females they contain. The most territorial crocodilian species are likely saltwater crocodiles. Adults are particularly intolerant of other adults, and both males and females exhibit this territoriality. Crocodiles frequently attack one another, especially when displaying dominance. In this video, 2 large alligators tried to gain the edge in a battle. One of the reptiles grabs the other by the tail, but in a matter of seconds, the fight ends and the creatures head back into the water. As water levels fluctuate with the rain, the riverbanks become littered with all sorts of debris, including carrion. Domestic livestock can end up here, as well as wild animals like this large feral pig, and whoever gets to the carcass first will consider it theirs. When there's a ready food source like this, crocs don't hold back. Saltwater crocodiles don't mind whether food is fresh or rotting, as long as they can swallow it. The carcass quickly attracts other crocodiles, and soon several crocs are fighting it out for the free meal, and the entire thing turns into a food orgy. Number 3, crocodile vs. impala. An impala sees death up close, but manages to pull a few interesting dance moves to live another day. I tell ya, those dance classes definitely paid off for this fragile impala. These videos are about animals that can defeat crocodiles and alligators, and we know impalas can't defeat any of these beasts in a fight one-on-one, but like the impala in this video, they can run circles around the big reptiles and pull a few triple axles so they can escape. There you go. Defeating doesn't necessarily mean killing. As long as you avoid being killed, you are considered the victor. When a crocodile jumps out of the water to snatch an antelope, the animal almost performs a reverse somersault, which allows it to escape in one piece. Some of these antelopes look like gymnasts out there. Number 2, wildebeest vs. crocodile. The wildebeest in this video is being held back by a crocodile, even though we can't see the large reptile just yet because it's underwater. When the wildebeest manages to pull itself closer to land, we finally see the crocodile holding on to its prey. What clinches the escape is the arrival of 2 massive hippos that make the crocodile nervous, forcing the reptile to let go, after which the wildebeest can finally exit the water, but not without a bad injury, what looks like a fractured lower leg. I'm not sure this wildebeest is going to last very long in this condition. While crossing the river in Masai Mara, an adult wildebeest was snatched by a large Nile crocodile. The wildebeest fought back for over 40 minutes, refusing to allow the crocodile to drag it into the deep waters of the river. The crocodile pulled hard on the wildebeest's tail, but it wasn't enough because the animal finally managed to free itself from the crocodile's jaws and continue its journey towards freedom. Surprisingly enough, this wildebeest did not seem to be injured. When an unsuspecting wildebeest approaches a small waterhole to drink, it gets the shock of its life as a crocodile rockets out of the water to attack it. The wildebeest shows quite a bit of athletic ability as it jumps and hops all over the place to fend off the crocodile, but it's not able to get out of the water. This hunt is not as easy as it first seemed for the crocodile, but the video ends and we don't see the outcome. Even though I would put my money on the crocodile, I'm not 100% sure it made the kill. Number 1, crocodile vs. other animals. I have never seen any animal in the bush attack and kill an adult rhino, and this includes lions and hyenas. So when I watched this, I could only imagine the worst for the crocodile, even though rhinos do not go looking for trouble. Hence, the rhino let the crocodile know he was there, but he did not attack the reptile, and the crocodile was a good boy because he knew how nasty the rhino could become if he provoked him. Every time I have seen crocodiles and alligators approach dogs to attack them, they have always destroyed the canines, or at best, the dogs managed to escape, but the dog in this video is not only tiny, but he's nuts. He actually chases and scares a huge alligator back into the water after barking at the reptile like a mad dog. Who would have thought this could happen? Now, here is a deer with powerful nostrils. After a crocodile latches onto this deer's snout and tries to pull it into the water, the deer resists and is strong enough to free itself without any major injuries except for a nosebleed. Pass the tissue paper, please. If you thought crocodilians were impossible to beat, you now know that they aren't. Which one was your favorite? Why don't you let us know in the comments below? Well, that's it for now. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and let us know in the comments what you think. Check out our other videos and subscribe to be a part of the fun. Click on the notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. Thanks for watching and see you next time.